Alright, don't forget to update your wish list. We gotta get the bunny girls. Wait, literally all of these are bunny girls. I just realized you can have a full wish list of bunny girls. Speaking of which, we need to update our wish list guide. Currently, let me see what's my exclamation point wish list. I think wishlist is not as straightforward as it is now, and that's because we have better understanding of the game that we can change the wish list. Which ones do we get one copy at least? Which ones do we get multiple copies? And things like that. So I feel like we can definitely change the wish list based on what we have and what are the things that we should be aiming for at least. Okay, let's go over all of these just once again. For Elysian, let's go with one copy of all of these: Helm, Diesel, Miranda, Emma, Polly, Brevity. And then for once you get at least like everyone, at least one copy, Brevity is gonna be free, but I just wrote this just in case like whoever, you know, watches the video or something, that like the event is already outdated and doesn't happen anymore. But we think this is like a continuously recurring event for so that all new players can play, can get Brevity. She's really good. Other than that, going for dupes, Brevity is good. Primarily, she can be used for PvE, and there's CP suppression on story mode, and most of the time she's used on that. Helm is usually useful also for story mode, but also she is used in a lot of raids, so I would say most people pick Helm too. Oh yeah, PvP also, Brevity is really good too. Guillotine is just a good DPS. I still think that she is a good DPS, but at the same time also she is not a flexible DPS, so that's why we're not prioritizing her as one copy. But when you do have free spots from these, you can start getting Guillotine and Vesti. Same with D. All these units, they're not like a priority, they have their niche, but then you can start getting them once you've kind of get everything. Elysian is kind of yeah, there's not a lot of good options right now, so that's why. And then Miscellaneous, Litter, Maxwell, Senti are probably the biggest priorities on these ones. They are used in a lot of content. Even Senti, even though like she is slowly being phased out, it's not that I would really completely phase her out. I still think that she has a lot of use still, especially with her burst generation. She's really good, and in a lot of content I would still use her PvP, and sometimes like especially if actually Senti is really good for Chatterbox. So like for new players, I would go with Senti as well, because she will just carry a lot of players, especially moving early on. Laplace is a good rocket launcher unit, so I would go with Laplace as well. And even though she's kind of being phased out on raids right now, I think for new players that doesn't have a lot of like units to use, Laplace it's not a bad choice. Jackal for PvP and Pepper for healer on burst 1 position. Is Maxwell a mini Snow White? Yes and no. She's more than that. Her burst is a mini Snow White, but like she is also giving 40% attack buff too. She's really good. Low priority 1 copy. Back then Drake was like a good high priority unit, but then now she's kind of slowly getting phased out. But I would still get 1 copy of her just in case. Same with Adme. She is not really that useful as much anymore, but she does still have like some niche uses that I would still kind of consider her. Maxwell, Litter, Senti, get duplicates of them because they are used in story mode also, and you want like duplicates of them so that you can CP pad. And Maxwell in particular, she is used in pretty much all content, maybe except PvP, but actually for me, I kind of use her alongside with Scarlet so that I get like a huge buff on burst, but not really that necessary on PvP. But anyways, like she is like a really strong DPS, so I would like put her in the highest most priority. Laplace is still yeah, if you want to use PvE on her, and I would use her for any other places. There's not a lot of dupes option for Bacillus as well, so that's why I just chose Laplace. And then Jackal for PvP. Drake is, if you want duplicates of Drake, it would be for PvP purposes. And then anything else after that, let's go with Tetra now. One copy. Oh god, there's just so many on Tetra. Go with Blanc, Noir, Alice, Dala, and then Volume. Like these, at least one copy definitely. Noise and Novel are also useful. And then other lower priority one copy, I would go with Yolha, Sugar, Sakura. Sakura is used for cooldown reduction, but the thing is like there's Dala and Volume also, so like she is kind of like on a lower priority comparatively to these two units. Yolha has some uses on with her special buffs, that is damage sharing and also like a huge damage buff. Sugar is a shotgun unit, that's why she is like good to have, but not as high priority as these other units. Viper, Rupee. Viper is like if you need like a burst to water, she ends up really being really good. Rupee kind of got phased out, but she's an iron attacker on burst too, but again, Guilty is just a better version of her. Biscuit is useful for some other scenarios that is sometimes like kind of odd, but like you could use her for PvP, but sometimes people feel like they're being really creative whenever you use Biscuit. Her kit is just opens up for like some sort of weird combination that it's might worth considering. Pokemon and Arya, these two are like the classic shield combos. And then last one, I think I'll just add Soda also here. I guess it's a low priority one copy. And then for dupes, I would say the moment you get all one copies, I would probably start working on dupes and then slowly add some of the lower priorities. I would say low priority dupe would be these. Low priority dupe. So what I would probably do in this one is I get one copy of everything here, and then once I got one copy of everything here, I'll start working on the dupes for Alice and Noir, and then slowly and then add these low priority ones. So that's basically how I would do it, and then like additional low priority dupes would be here. So that's kind of how I would do it. So like I would always have Alice and Noir for like probably gonna be the longest time, and then start working on low priority dupes. Same goes with these. That's how I would do it too. I'd get all one copy of these and then start working on the dupes, and then while working on the dupes, I'll add like one or two of the low priority one. And then if you're feeling spicy, then you can start filling up the units that you never had. Some people, while you're working on dupes, they work on like 3 dupes or 4 dupes or 2 dupes, and then they'll start working on getting like a copy of the other ones, the other units that they never had. Just because some people, you know, they like collection still, so they kind of end up doing that. Anyways, that's pretty much going to be it for all these units for wishlist update. And whenever we do an update, again, I'll just update the exclamation point wishlist in Twitch chat. If you type exclamation point wishlist, we need to update this, but I always update this. That's probably where you're gonna get like the most up-to-date ones. I think these are gonna be useful not just for beginners, even like for intermediate or advanced players. Like even if you're a veteran, the dupes are still things that are useful to think about and prioritize. But some people probably they already know what they're going after. But yeah,